So Funimation announced that the dubcast for Full Metal Panic is coming back, and my first reaction was something like this. Oh my God! Because now we can move on with the comfort that some of the best dubs are indeed still Full Metal. Full Metal Panic Invisible Victory is an anime for the spring. Full Metal Panic Invisible Victory is an anime for the spring 2018 season, and it is produced by Studio Xebec, or Xebec. I'm not generally good with pronunciations, and this is one of those times. It is the 4th season of Full Metal Panic following the 3rd season of Full Metal Panic that was titled The Second Raid. You see, the reason why it is subtitled Invisible Victory is because I and V is the Roman numeral for 4. To just let you know that this is the 4th season, because when the 3rd season was titled The Second Raid, it confused some people. Full Metal Panic is one of those shows that I have loved for a good number of years, mostly because it is in my belief that the original Full Metal Panic and its 2 following seasons are one of the best gateway anime and have been for a very long time. They are dated now by today's standards, of course. Hell, the 1st season was still done in 4:3. We don't see that very often. In fact, we don't see that at all. Thank God. And I say that it is like the best gateway, or one of the best examples that I use to show people what anime is about for a good number of years, because all of the popular tropes that were very prominent, especially in that era, that like early 2000s era, they were all in Full Metal Panic. You got to show them the cool military-styled action, but at the same time, there was wacky high school hijinks. Characters had multicolored hair, but it was still this fun adventure to kind of showcase what anime was about, and I loved it for that. And now we have a new season, which we should not have gotten, but we have, so hell yes. Because Full Metal Panic is not an anime original. It is based off of some original material. That original material has ended a while ago. This is not like the celebration that it's ending, so hey, here's another anime adaptation. No, this anime adaptation came out of nowhere and was like, hey, you want more Full Metal Panic? Here you go. And they didn't have to. They didn't have to do any of that. Xebec didn't have to come in and take over, being the 3rd studio to take over this show. The 3rd studio! We have seen shows swap anime studios before, but never before more than twice. Unless you're Hellsing Ultimate, in which case you had just massive crap ton. That was an OVA series, a little bit different. In this case though, the 1st series was done by Gonzo, seasons 2 and 3 were done by Kyoto Animation, of all people, back when they were first starting, and now this new season is back. And my God, it looks beautiful. And on top of that, the dubcast is coming back. Now, I know that some people do not like dubs. You might be one of those people. You might be like, hey, I don't like dubs, so why are you talking about them so much? Well, I like dubs. I like a lot of dubs, and I really, really like dubs when they are good. And Full Metal Panic is an example of a really, really good dub.
I see, then please convey this to him if you would. My military might exceeds yours by an overwhelming margin, so attempts at revenge would be a mere waste of efforts.
Now listen, you punk, there's no way you'd beat me. So step off, 'cause you ain't even got 1 chance in a billion, you loser biatch.
And they didn't have to bring it back. I was worried for a while, because we heard, yeah, no, we're getting a new Full Metal Panic. But that doesn't mean that it's going to be dubbed. And then Funimation grabbed it, and we're like, okay, so it's going to be dubbed, probably, but will it be the same dub cast? Funimation has like a 50-50 toss-up with this sort of thing. For every time we get something like Slayers and Yuki Nagato, we also have times like we get with Trigun. They don't have to bring the old dub casts back, but in this case, they did. And that is glorious, because the combination of Chris Patton and Lucy Christian in these characters as Sosuke and Kaname is just masterful. And with luck, the entire secondary cast will join them. Some of them have already confirmed on Twitter that this is going to be the case, but we don't know if they absolutely have everybody. We don't know if they have Andy McGavin. That would be a thing that would be really cool. And my God, we don't know if they have Christopher Aries yet. Back, because the student council president is back, which, my God, blew my mind, because now we actually have a canonical confirmation that Fumofu actually existed and was not some fever dream of a season that just had random off episodes that never actually occurred in the main timeline. But no, now the student council president is there. He exists in main timeline, in main canological space. Can you tell I'm like fanboying the shit out right now? Because I totally am. I don't even have a script. I'm just going on my own and just doing whatever. Because I freaking love Full Metal Panic. I love it a lot. And this news is great for me. Like, this makes an already great season. And this has been a great season. This makes an already great season even better. Like, there's not a word, like, I want to say more awesome, but that doesn't even feel like it freaking quantifies the word that I want to use right now. But I guess the question is, for you, because you probably aren't as big of a fan of Full Metal Panic as I am, which is fine, you know, you'll learn, you'll get there. But for you, is this show worth watching? Well, let me be honest, possibly not on its own. Just based on the first episode alone, because that was all I watched, because I was like, as much as I love the Japanese cast of this show, and I can watch it the whole thing in Japanese, I was sitting and waiting on the dub announcement, because I wanted to know. And now that I know, I'm waiting for the dub, because that, for me, will be the optimal way of watching this show. But for you, you really need to watch the other parts of Full Metal Panic. This is not a season that you can dive into knowing nothing. I was even like toying with the idea of saying, well, you could just watch Fumofu, just get like those 12 episodes of Fumofu down and out of the way. But, you know, if we continue down the serious storyline that Full Metal Panic has, you are going to need those other 2 seasons. Because Full Metal Panic is kind of split up in this weird way. Full Metal Panic Season 1 is this really nice and weird mix of this military action and this wacky comedy hijinks, right? It combines the two. And it didn't do, like, the absolute best of jobs about it. The first season of Full Metal Panic is not the best, is not the prime example of what Full Metal Panic has to offer. But then after that season, when Kyoto Animation took over, they did 2 separate things. They did Fumofu, which was just comedy hijinks, and then they did the second raid, which was just the military action. There was like very slight crossovers, but nowhere near as much in tone as the original season. So now that this next season is coming out, we don't know necessarily if they are going to be combining them again, but I can tell you that we're not just having another comedy Fumofu season. That is not what's going on. They are continuing the actual serious plotline left over after the second raid, which means you can't jump into it without knowing what's going on. Which does make it a bit of a thing, because you do have to watch pretty much all of Full Metal Panic before you can watch this. You can't go in with nothing, which is like the 24 some odd episodes of season 1, plus the 2 extra cores of Fumofu and second raid. You're looking at like 40 some odd episodes that you need to watch. Now, they're great episodes. I recommend you to watch them. But it is a time commitment, and I understand that, especially when you consider the fact that this season has so much to offer. I would understand if you're like, look, I don't have the time, I'll get to it. And that's cool. But if you do have the time, honestly, you should be watching Full Metal Panic anyway, or have by this point. Please do that. Please watch Invisible Victory. It is going to be amazing. Especially if it is what I think it is. Because Full Metal Panic reached that stage that anime normally don't reach, where I read the original material because I believe we're never getting another anime adaptation. Normally, I don't do that. Normally, I just ignore the original material because I like to, you know, just talk about anime as the anime, as a standalone. But, you know, when we know that we're not going to get another adaptation and I really like the material, I go and read it. Full Metal Panic is one of those cases, and I know what might be coming up, and it is great, and it will be amazing if adapted correctly, which I'd like to hope that they're gonna do, because why else would they bring this back, right? Why else would they bring Full Metal Panic to anime form out of nowhere, unless they were going to do it right, unless they were confident that they could do it right? So that's where we leave off. Full Metal Panic Invisible Victory is out. The dub will be coming soon. It'll be starting at the beginning of May, I believe. And if you have the time to watch all of Full Metal Panic in order to get caught up and then to follow this series as it airs, please do so. If you've watched all Full Metal Panic, then definitely watch Invisible Victory. It is going to be amazing. And then when you're done, come back and let me know what you think of me just ranting to a camera without a script for like 20 minutes, because that's basically what I did here. This is my first FR without a script. I'm just pure fanboy passion right now. That is me in this space. I'm not scripted. I just absolutely and purely love Full Metal Panic a lot. I love a lot of the other shows that are coming out this season. I love Steins Gate. Steins Gate's one of my favorites ever, and we have Steins Gate 0 coming out. Really, really nice and great. But Full Metal Panic is getting the original dub cast back and is having another season potentially based off of one of the best storylines in the entire thing. My God, it is going to be great. I hope. Please don't let them screw this up. Please. Okay. So thank you for spending the time to watch this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, ladies, gentlemen, and others, stay frosty.